and see the slides? Shilpa, can you? Yeah, Carmen. Yes, I saw that you guys all could hear me. Awesome, awesome. That means others can as well. Oops, I just closed the chat window. Okay. Gonna see what you guys are saying. Oh yeah, there it is. Awesome, great. Okay, so I want to make this like really interactive. So please keep the comments coming. I hope you can still see. Yeah. So just keep the comments coming. Imagine like we are in a conference room together, like like as if you're talking in a meeting room. Because I'm really grateful for this technology to have made this possible, and I really appreciate your commitment to have followed through and join me today. Because like I keep saying, how we do these small things is how we do the big things in life. So well done, like good on you. It really speaks a lot about you. And if you don't have already, can you just grab a notepad and a pen, because we're going to be writing certain things down during the course of this masterclass, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. So if you don't have already, just grab a notepad and a pen. Do you all have a notepad and a pen? Cool. Awesome, awesome. So is it cool if we spend the next 45 minutes or so looking really deep into our own behaviors and the patterns, and really be honest about what we discover? Is that cool? Yeah, awesome. So my style is to keep things really simple and direct. So that's how I'm going to be going today. And is it also cool if I take the last couple of minutes to share with you an opportunity to take some action beyond this masterclass and get more value out of it? Is that cool? Awesome. Hey, Maria, good to hear from you. Awesome. So I'll move on. Why? Okay, so this is just an overview of what we're going to discuss. So procrastination is a really strange phenomenon, because it's not like we don't want to do things, but we still end up putting important things away for later. So we are going to speak about why we do it in real deep, because when we get to the core of why we do things, it becomes easy to uncover some of the patterns that we do, and we can discover what we shouldn't be doing and what we should be doing more. And I'm going to share with you what successful people do differently, and the one thing that you can adopt, the change in thinking that you can adopt to get similar results. And I'm also going to take you through a fight. Hey Anandita, we can see your video. It's okay if you keep it on, but it's okay if you want to switch it off as well. Up to you. So I'm going to take you through a 5-step process to really end procrastination for once and for all. And we'll also take you through a roadmap where you can actually jot down like how you're going to get to your extraordinary level of career and life success. How does that sound? Awesome. So I'll move on. So that's me. It's strange how I put the picture up, but you can still see me. But anyway, so for those of you who know me, Hi once again. For those of you who don't, my name is Madhu Jaykumaran. I'm the founder and director of Think Stride, a firm that specializes in career and leadership development for women. And I'm really passionate about helping women live an extraordinary life. And what I mean when I say extraordinary is doing things and having things that matter most to us. So just to give you a background, um, 2 years back, I quit my corporate job after the birth of my son. And after I made the decision, I started questioning about why it had to be that way for me. Why did I have to choose? And when I started looking for answers, I started getting ideas about new ways to live life. And the quest really led me to where I am here today, which is here sitting in front of you, and to really help women like all of you live a fuller life. So earlier this year, I also authored a book called Stride, A Woman's Guide to an Extraordinary Life, A Woman's Guide to an Extraordinary Life, Career and Leadership. So which is my way of really sharing all the secrets with the women in the world. So that's it about me. I want to speak actually about why you are here, you know, because I think that you are here because you know there's another level of you. You want to experience more from your career and life than just attending to to-do lists. And let me know with a yes if I'm on the right track with this. And perhaps sometimes you're hiding because you don't want others to know, because time and again we've been taught to sort of hide our vulnerabilities. We've been taught that it's really important to look good all the time, which is really tiring. Like, it gets so tiring after a point in time. And I know that you're tired of breaking promises and commitments over and over again, things that you committed to yourself. Yeah, the things that you committed to us, to yourself or to others, and you want to end this today. So that's why you're here. How am I going with this? Yeah, that's right. In case you fail. Well said, Amanda. That's right. That's exactly what it is. So if this sounds like you, then I think you're doing really great, and you're going to find this really valuable. But if you're looking for some kind of a magic pill, like a magic wand to turn things around, I'm sorry, like this is not for you. Just want to make that really, really clear. Awesome. So let's just quickly move on. So does this sound familiar? The lady in the picture. I'll do it tomorrow. You'll feel more like it later. I'm so stressed. Yeah. So for a very, very long time, I used to live life like this. Like, I can't imagine a day when I've not put off something important to do for later. And either that later never arrived, or that later would arrive when I'm in a real crisis situation and I really had no choice. I just had to do it. Who can relate to this? Just comment with a yes. Yeah, struggling with keeping yourself accountable. That's right, Amanda. So here's the thing, right? So it's not that we don't want to do, yet we end up not doing things which are so important. We just keep procrastinating, which is very irrational. I think it's harmful because it sort of keeps us away from doing the things that matter to us. It's really against our best intentions, just not our friend. So why do we do it? It's a very important question, right? So this is why we do it. Number one, the biggest reason why people procrastinate, why as humans we all tend to procrastinate, is because we sort of fall for negative emotions. We are driven by emotions. So anything that feels good, we approach it. Anything that feels bad, we sort of repel it. We avoid it as much as possible. So when we expect a task or an activity to feel good, for example, just watching television or just checking out Facebook, chatting with someone whom we like, or just eating chocolate, they all feel good. Like the moment we think about it, oh my God, it feels so good. So we approach it. On the other hand, things which we don't like, we sort of have a like a negative emotion or feeling towards it, we sort of avoid those things, run away from it in a way. So we feel resistance, for example, towards doing certain tasks when it comes to work. So for example, whenever a task is new or unfamiliar, so we fear the unknown, we are not comfortable with it, so we tend to procrastinate it for later. So it can be something as simple as just speaking up against something that you don't feel is right at work, um, or just speaking to a difficult stakeholder, not knowing that it's not going to be comfortable. You just avoid it forever until, of course, the crisis situation comes. Or just a networking dinner, like just approaching a person whom you've never met and just having a conversation. So we have a negative emotion or feeling around it, so we sort of avoid it. Yeah, that's right. So, so anything like, for example, doing the taxes, like I totally dislike doing the taxes. So yeah, I mean, given an option, I would never file taxes, but, or hitting the gym. So anything that we have a negative emotion or a pain feeling around it, we sort of run away from it. That's really the base of, procrastination. So now imagine that we are in a bad mood or we are stressed, yeah, because of work, whatever be it. Now imagine how that's going to top up these negative emotions. So we already have a bit of negative feeling, and stress sort of tops up. So that's why we never come back to those tasks, which we know are important, but we don't have a positive feeling towards it. So that's number one reason why we procrastinate. And in no particular order, yeah. So the second reason is when the rewards are far in the future. So as humans, we tend to, James is finally getting to the taxes. Yeah, good to hear that, James. So, so we often tend to discount as humans things, the rewards that are far in the future, right? So we sort of display a bias towards the present. So any reward that is in the present, which, like for example, in the picture you can see the guy, this person would rather eat the cake than actually wait for the long-term goal, which is probably fitness, health, whatever be it, right? So anything that gives us satisfaction in the short term, in other words, there's a word to it which is called instant gratification. Yeah, we sort of fall for it, and it's pretty much like a childish behavior, because that's what a child would do. Like if I were to tell my 2-year-old, and there is an experiment around this, if some of you may have seen it, the kids are actually given two chocolates and some timeout. So if they wait, they can have both, but at any point in time, if they have one, they can't have the second one. And guess what? Most kids obviously went to have the chocolates as quickly as they could, because that's how kids are. But even as adults, we've not let go of this pattern. We still want sort of fall for that instant gratification thing. Who's guilty of doing this? Just can't wait. Who's guilty? Shall I move on? Yeah, cool, awesome. Yeah. So the reason why I just check in with you. Oh, okay, I dropped out for me. Guilty of what? Oh, who's guilty of falling for instant gratification? Is the question that I asked, James. Awesome. Yeah, I know we're all like I am. So this is a really interesting one. Pressure to succeed. So here's the very important thing. So most often people think it's laziness, like people are lazy, that's why they procrastinate. We also sort of, think, oh, am I really lazy? Why do I procrastinate? But actually, it's not laziness. I think it's the pressure to actually succeed, do well. So we have so much pressure around doing well, around getting things right, that we actually procrastinate because we fear, what if I make a mistake? What if I fail? So at the cost of high personal standards, we actually never take that action because we have the fear of letting ourselves and others down. So yeah, just the strive for perfection keeps us away from actually attempting the tasks. of making mistakes. So in an attempt to protect our self-worth by, by avoiding this whole failure thing, we think we never get to the task. That's a really interesting one. Yeah, that's right, Amanda. Same here. I mean, I think I procrastinate seriously quite a bit because of this. So this is a really interesting one to know. And the next one is very, very interesting as well. So we sort of overestimate our future ability. Like we think, like really, like magically, something is going to change tomorrow and we're all going to become super women. And what we will be in real is what we are today. Nothing is going to change. But yet, our brain cooks up this whole thing, this whole imagination that tomorrow is going to be that perfect day. Tomorrow is going to be the day that I'm going to get down to doing XYZ tasks, which we know we've been postponing for a very long time. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Melissa. Yeah, afraid of being seen. Absolutely. So the reason why our brain cooks this whole thing up, that tomorrow things are going to be magically different, is another way of protecting our self-worth. Because at the core of it, we are just giving excuses. We're just giving excuses as to why we are not doing something. And because we don't want to feel bad about it, we say, oh, tomorrow is the right time. So that's how our imagination is trying to protect our self-ego. Because we need our self-esteem intact, right? All right. The next one, moving on. Burnout from doing too much randomly. And guess what? I think, to me at least, this is the one that used to be like the major deterrent, the major cause for my procrastination. For the longest, ever since I remember actually, starting work. So the reason why we sort of get burnt out, if we really look at it, like why we get mentally and physically exhausted and overwhelmed, is because we are just doing too much. We are attending because we've never paused and thought about what is important. Busy doing a lot of things. Yeah, absolutely, right? Like we're so busy every day doing so many things and attending to so many tasks that that's it. Like at the end of the day, nothing has changed. Our to-do list looks just the same. And we don't know where time has gone and what happened to all the effort and energy that I put in throughout the day. Exactly, Melissa. Absolutely. Me guilty of doing this for the longest time ever. So why does this happen? How do we end up exhausting ourselves and getting overwhelmed and not got our to-do list any better? So how does that happen? So the reason why that happens is because we do not have clear goals. We've never paused and thought about what is it that I really want to focus on in terms of my career, in terms of my life, what are my priorities? So because we've not thought about it, like far-fetched, where do I want to be in 3 months time, 6 months time, we never got down to actually setting those goals. Think about what we really want. We actually don't know what is priority. So we're just attending to everything that's hitting our way, just responding to that email, popping into that meeting or networking event, just doing random stuff. Like somebody did something, I'm going and doing the same thing today. So it's so random. Yeah, that's right. So it's a really tiring cycle to be on. Yeah, stay focused on one goal. But that's the whole thing. Because we don't think about what are the 3 things or what are the top 2 or 3 things that we want in the next 1 month. Actually, I think the 90-day goals thing works very, very well because it's not very long term. At the same time, it's not very too quick. So you know what to do and where you want to get to in the next 3 months. And I personally found the 90-day goals thing quite effective. But yeah, unless I actually did that, until I actually did the 90-day goal planning exercise, I used to struggle with this a lot. I used to just get overwhelmed and stuck. And it just triggers all those negative emotions again. Lower self-esteem, oh my god, what am I doing? Stress builds up, and because of increased stress we start procrastinating even more. Yeah, awesome. So this brings me to a very, very important point, um, which is the reason overwhelm happens is because our to-do list, right? So our how we do things becomes so big compared to our why. It becomes really big. So our doing becomes so big as compared to our being. Is this making sense? We never really questioned or thought about our why. Instead, we are just focusing on the how. Do. But why? Why are you doing what you're doing? So that's how it gets overwhelming. Yeah, all how. Yeah. So the moment we start focusing on the why, things start becoming a bit more clear, and we know what we are doing, and we know where to spend our time and energy on, because at the end of the day we do have limited resources on our side. Exactly. That's how it gets lost. That's right. So that brings me to the last and very, very important. I think this is at the foundation of things. So because we are so busy attending to our to-do list, we most often forget that we are a part of it, that we are actually part of a to-do list. For most women especially, we are either like we don't ever feature at all in the to-do list, or we come last. So either ways it's the same. We never get to attend us. So when I say us, things that truly matter to us. So what makes us happy? So underneath all the clutter that exists in our life, what is the most important thing to us? So that comes last. So we're busy just living up to expectations, people's expectations, as an employee or as a businesswoman, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, partner, whatever, everything that you're trying to fit into, and everybody that you're trying to keep happy. So we are constantly pleasing others, and buying into, what is important, and the whole to-do list thing, that we end up becoming our worst self-critique. Like we always find a reason of why we aren't enough. And guess what? Who relates to this? Just constantly beating yourself down. Yeah, gets worse, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing. So in the process, we forget that we matter. We forget that our future self matters. So we live in the moment, just reacting and responding, disconnected from where we are heading, what matters most to us. Yeah, that's all right, Shilpa. And we live as if our future self doesn't exist at all. Like the day is never going to come when we are so burnt out, we are questioning why, what the heck is happening with my life. That day comes up as well sometimes when we reach that frustration point, because we've deprioritized ourselves and what matters to us so much, just not given us enough recognition, enough time out, given given the self-worth, looking for self-worth and all the other things, the roles that we are playing and all the external things. um, that's it, like we are burnt out. And where in the world are we going to get, if we lack self-compassion, are we going to get the motivation and the willpower to push on and get stuff done? So to me, I think this is like the foundation of why people procrastinate, especially women. So busy um, living up to expectations and critiquing ourselves so badly. So I'm just going to move on quickly. So in summary, we procrastinate because number one, we want to feel good and avoid pain in the short term. We focus too much on immediate rewards. And to make things work, we don't reward ourselves for doing a good job, even when we do. We make excuses to protect our self-worth. Tomorrow is going to be magical. We are scared to make mistakes, so failing. We want to run away. We want to run away and hide from making mistakes. And we've never thought about what our ultimate goals and priorities are. Never really invested the time, given it the time that it deserves. As a result, we're busy living up to expectations, others' expectations, and benchmarks of success, which comes from external sources. I think we want to play safe. If I have to just summarize this whole thing, I think we want to play safe. We want to play safe where we don't want to risk making mistakes. We don't want to risk getting judged. We don't want to take the time out and do what matters, like prioritize, just focusing on ourselves, what matters, what are our ultimate goals, what do we really want. And that's playing safe. Any questions so far? Anyone? Anything that anybody wants to check in? Okay, cool. So if there isn't, I'll just move on quickly. So in short, in playing safe, we are doing what we are comfortable with, like whatever we are doing every day, like it's working for us at some level, right? So guess what? We keep doing the same things, we get the same results. Because as Albert Einstein says, it's insanity of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah, you're welcome, Melissa. So we just want to do the same things. Like we don't want to get out of this pattern of what we do every day, but how can we expect different results? We're going to end up definitely getting the same results. So that's where I want to just pause and just think about this for a moment. Yeah, true, absolutely. So what do successful people do differently? Like I spoke about how it's human to fall for the short term, how it's human to give justification. So what goes on with successful people? What is that they do differently? So imagine if we were to cut through, like not in the literal sense, but let's were to look at, like normal people's head, ordinary people's head, the thinking, and we were to look at successful people's thinking. What would that look like? Now, this one, what you see right here, is a normal, ordinary person's thinking, which is playing safe. There's a lot of clutter, no clarity about the direction. There's a lot of busyness because we are just constantly attending to tasks because there is so much clutter. We procrastinate, we justify our decisions and actions. We are addicted to the short term. Like we just can't get over it. And we keep waiting for something or someone or something to change, like a magic pill. Like as if, oh my God, someday it's going to come and everything is going to be different, kind of a thing. So we play small because we don't want to make mistakes. We fear failure. We're fearful. We are disconnected from our future self. Like I said, never invested the time to think about what is good for our future self. What does she want? So there's a lot of chaos happening. So we sit with our problems. We just sit with our problems. We know that there is a problem, but we just sit with it. And we play victims and we give excuses. Now, on the other hand, what's going on inside the brain of a successful person? Let's look at that. There is a lot of clarity there. Instead of busyness, they actually have boundaries where they know what to say no to and what to say yes to, because they know what their priorities are in life and in their career and at work. So they just know what to prioritize and say yes to and no to. They're kind to themselves. So there's a formula to this, and we'll just come to that in just a bit. Being kind to yourself doesn't mean justifying your excuses, but actually being true to your future self. They own their gaps. That's the whole thing, right? So when we are being kind and self-compassionate to ourselves, we own our gaps. We don't justify it. We keep commitments. So successful people, they just say yes and they work out how, and they take massive action. So once they've said yes, it's all action. They explore the depth of their potential, because they're ready to make mistakes. They're okay to make mistakes, and when they are, they explore the depth of their potential, what they're really capable of. And instead of just sitting with their problems, they ask for help. They have no problem because they don't have any insecurity around asking for help. So they ask for help, and everything is learning and growing for them. Every mistake made, every, stone, everything is learning and growing. And they take responsibility for their results. Yeah, we need to disrupt our pattern. That's right, Vesna. That's playing big. To me, I think that's being extraordinary. That's the only difference in thinking that gives people extraordinary results. It's just playing big, just taking the risk, not running away, not hiding, not avoiding, not justifying, just taking responsibility, getting down to do what's required and get on with it. Anything anybody wants to share? Not, I'll just move on. Yeah, so if you just contrast playing safe, which is what most people do, vis-a-vis playing big, this is what it looks like. So playing safe keeps us stuck. It keeps us from our true potential, keeps us from self-acceptance, because over a period of time, when we keep giving those excuses, we are going to start feeling bad about ourselves. We can't trust ourselves. Like, how can we trust ourselves if we kept breaking promises over and over again? So if we want to really fall in love with ourselves, we need to keep those promises that we make, those little, small, teeny weeny promises that we make to ourselves. And they just keep looping back to ordinary. On the other hand, playing big moves us towards a true potential, helps us fall in love with ourselves. Like, imagine I'm keeping every promise after the other that I'm making to myself. How awesome is going to be my self-esteem? Like, I'm going to feel really pumped about myself, about what I'm doing. Isn't that how one will feel? And that's it. That's all it takes to achieve extraordinary levels of success. So here is the one thing that we can all adopt from successful people. Simply choose to play big. It's a choice that we make to be extraordinary. It's just a choice that we make to think differently. The choice that we make to take those risks and be okay with it. Just go with the flow. How are we doing so far? Any comments, questions? Yeah, that's right, Melissa. Taking risks and just believing in ourselves. Absolutely well said. Helps us move from ordinary to extraordinary. That's it. That's all it is. Okay. So to make life really simple, I've created a 5-step process to end procrastination. And let's get straight into it. So number 1, remove clutter. Focus on what matters. So I've spoken about it quite a bit. Like, really get clear on what is that you want. What is that you want to feel? What is that you want to see for yourself? What is it that you want to have? So focus on 3 months. What is it that you want to achieve at the end of 3 months? What should be different about your life? Just remove everything else. Everything else is not priority. Only what you want to achieve in the next 3 months becomes your priority. That's it. You only do things which move you towards what you want to have in 3 months' time. Simply put, that's it. Just focus on what matters. Set your boundaries, of course. Say no. Therefore, learn to say no to things that don't matter. Like if somebody comes up with you, or somebody hits you with something which is not important, is not moving you towards where you want to go, just say no. The second thing, let your why guide your actions. The only way to avoid overwhelm, like we previously discussed, overwhelm happens every time when our how becomes larger than our why. So keep the equation like this, where the why is always the bigger chunk. Your purpose is what is driving your actions, not the other way around. Does that help? Purpose is driving the actions, not the other way around. So, and third, really simple, make mistakes, have fun learning. Everything is fun. Every mistake is a good learning to have. Like, for example, when I set up this webinar, this masterclass, and we did some Facebook advertising with it, I don't know, it went okay, but I wasn't happy. But I was like, okay, I learned something. Like, I learned what to do differently next time. That's simply it. Nothing is a failure or a mistake. So, and number 4 is being kind to yourself. Like, really, don't be so hard. Celebrate your wins, even if they are small, and forgive yourself. Like, why do we want to beat ourselves up for all the past mistakes? The past is past. It's gone. Nothing can be changed. So let's just learn to forgive as to what is gone is gone. So just commit to what you will do in the future, starting right now, and just move on and keep your commitments. And finally, play big. Make choices that will move you towards that'll make you your future self proud. That's it. So I just want to show you this beautiful quote, which I think is relevant. The only person that you're destined to become is the person that you decide to be today. That's it. So who's excited to get started on creating your roadmap, like right now? Give me a yes. Thanks, Melissa. You're so welcome. Awesome. So your roadmap to extraordinary. I hope you have your pen and your notepad ready. You're gonna just go do it now. Step number 1, your ultimate goals. Yeah. So I want you to do this like by yourself. If there is anything that you want to share, feel free with me as we go through the steps. Think about this. What is the ultimate outcome that you're looking for in the following areas? Write down 2 or 3 things, just 2 things actually, under each section. Can you do that right now? Health and vitality. So could be include everything, your physical health, your emotional health, and your mental health. What is it that you really want? How do you want to feel, look in terms of your health? And if you're done with that, move on to the next one, which is what is your ultimate outcome? Oh, back to regular yoga classes. Awesome. Good on you, Vesna. More gratitude. I love that. I think that's really important for mental health and emotional health. Thanks for sharing. So are we all clear on what we want in terms of health and vitality? Actually, this comes first because I think without it, rest everything doesn't matter. They don't exist. That's the reason why this always comes first. Yeah. So if you're done with it, think about what's the one ultimate outcome that you want from your career. What is it that you really want from your business, from your career, from your work? Two things that you're looking to achieve. Yeah. Clear mindset and healthy eating. Thanks for sharing, Melissa. Awesome. Exercise too. Yeah. Awesome. So in terms of your career and work, what are the two things that you really, really badly want in the next 3 months? Connection, contribution, and freedom for myself. Nice. Yeah, nice. Like that, Vesna. Awesome. So if it's okay, can I move on? The career one is taking time, is it? You're thinking about what is it that you really want? Are you done? Awesome. Good. So I'll move on. Yeah, awesome. So think about your ultimate outcome in terms of relationships. So it could be with your kids, your partner, whoever is most important to you in your life. What are the two things that you really want in terms of relationships? And lastly, adventure, fun, time out. How do you want to relax? How do you want to have fun and chill and celebrate? Yeah, nice. Love and contributions. Yeah, contribution is a really important one. Well thought of. Because actually, there is no, I think the biggest source of happiness is giving, is contributing. So, yeah, well said, Vesna. Thanks for sharing. So, the last one, I want you to think about how you're going to celebrate. Yeah, nice. Connection with self. Yeah, awesome. Have fun. Nice. So, I'll just move on. Next, we'll look at our why. So, yeah, fun and joy. Fun and joy. What are the activities that you plan to do is something which you can look at writing. Like after we are done, you can go and actually write down. So for every ultimate outcome, what are the two goals that you can look at in the next 3 months that will help you get to that outcome? Does that make sense? So you can actually look at specific goals, specific things that you can do in the next 90 days that will move you closer to the ultimate outcome that you want. Yeah, so do that. So let's step two. Let's come to your why. Think about all the things that you've written down under the four headings, the four large ones, in terms of your career, your relationships, your health, adventure, fun. What will it give you to achieve these goals? What will it mean to you? So let's say at the end of 3 months, you've taken some action which has moved you closer to those things. What will it mean to you? Can you write that down? So if you are writing everything, I want you to be a little bit more specific. Awesome. I like that, Melissa. Confidence. That's a very specific one. Confidence could be self-esteem, means that assurance that you can trust yourself, that you can reach out for larger things. So think of something a little bit more specific like that and write that down. Nice. Emotionally strong. That's a good one. Yeah. So you're going to develop resilience. Nice. Internal fulfilling. Nice. Beautiful. I like that. So what's the cost of not making this happen? So what if you don't make it happen? Like, what if you constantly again get back to the pattern of reacting and end up finding out that you're nowhere closer to what you wanted to have? How would that be? And given your responses, I think it would be something like, yeah, painful, um, moving you away from where you want to go. Like if if it's being emotionally strong, you'll become emotionally weaker, which is not what you want. If you want to be confident, you will not be confident. This is exactly what you don't want, right? So that's really the cost. Yeah, breaking promises. So how can you start trust yourself even more? Absolutely. So is the why clear to everybody why it is so important? Yeah, you'll absolutely well said, Carmen. You will not be living true to your full potential. So you see, your why is becoming more and more clear as to why you need to get down and do the things that are important and break away from the loop. Yeah, awesome. So I'll move on to step 3. So now we are clear on our ultimate outcomes. We are clear on our why. Now you're going to have some fun and make some mistakes. Ready? I'm really excited. So, oops. Yeah, awesome. Thumbs up. I like that. Oh, how did you create that one? Very cool, huh? Okay. So, given the outcome that you're after, what is your next best ideal step? Health and vitality. What's the one thing that you can do to move towards where you want to go? It should be an action. Similarly, for career, relationships, adventure, write down one action that one ideal step that you're gonna take. Just do it. But that's a very good attitude to have, Besna. And sometimes it also helps to be a little bit more specific. Like, for example, for someone, it could be, um, just get back to yoga. Like I think you mentioned that. Someone in terms of your work or your business, it could be just identify my niche or identify how to generate leads and start generating leads, or start speaking up more at work, um, stuff like that, or do more networking, start holding difficult stakeholder conversations, some kind of action specific to where you want to go. And let me know once you're done writing your actions, please, so I know. Great, Amanda, that was quick. How are you feeling right now? Mm. I like that. You see the specifics of how Maria has put it. Drink more water, a bit uneasy. Is that because now you know you got to take action? Ah, okay. Very interesting. So every time you feel uneasy, you just look at your why frame, and that will do the job for you. Trust me with this. Mm, yeah, yeah, nice. Closing the gap between wanting and performing tasks. Nice. So I like Maria's list. Drinking more water. Be on social media. Like that's really specific. Good. I know you're gonna get it done. Nice. So I'll move on from here. This is a really, really fun one to do. What mistakes am I prepared to make? Have a go with it. Like, when you have a go with all the things that you've written down, the actions, what mistakes are you prepared to make? Mm, this is really hard for you to answer. Is that your perfectionism taking over? Also, fear of judgment. Yeah, that's right. But guess what? Um, so every time you think about it, remind yourself, oh, how would a successful person think? And prepare to suck at things. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so we'll come to the next question. Oh my God, why am I jumping? Awesome. So good. I want you to just write 2 or 3 things which you're like the mistakes that you're prepared to make. And I really like the list that's coming out. Not to be afraid of unknown. Yeah. Just have a go, prepare to suck. And Amanda, if I were to just rephrase that, let go of the fear of judgment and just do the thing. Maria, the ones will allow me to grow. Okay. I think you mean wanting to grow, allowing yourself to grow, which is really nice. Great. So I'll move on to the next one. So, so for all the fears that are still inside you in terms of those mistakes, what's the worst thing that can happen, guys or girls? What's the worst thing that can happen? See, like seriously, write this down. I want you to write it down. What's the worst thing that can happen, Amanda? I don't know what action that you want to take, but think about like imagine I suck like big time. What's the worst thing that can happen? Mm, okay. Yeah, okay. Your self-esteem will take another smash. Um, so if you don't try it at all, if you don't give it a go, what happens to your self-esteem then? Like in the short term, I'm sure it'll be intact because you've sort of avoided the action. But in the long term, yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. And it's going to be worse later because you can't change back. You've just lost more time. Um, just stuck in the limbo. And it sucks. It sucks even more. make Yeah, so for all of you who said make a fool of myself, self-esteem taking a hit, I want you to rethink about it. So if you don't take this action and you're going to postpone it, procrastinate it, and wait for the perfect moment when you're ready, you're confident. um, and this is the whole thing about confidence and readiness. um, it's not like one fine day like confidence is going to turn up at your door and tell you, okay Melissa, or okay Amanda, or okay whoever, like Madhu, now you're ready. Like the universe has granted all the abilities that you need to do well. and now you're ready. You can step out today and do the thing. Is that how it's going to happen, guys? I don't think so, because the only way and only way that it's going to happen is me stepping out, doing the thing, sucking at it, learning from it, giving it another go, giving it a third go, and giving it a go until I know that I'm actually getting better and better at it. And there's going to come a day before you know it and you started taking action, when you start becoming competent in it, and then confidence comes along with it. Yeah, that's right, Maria. So confidence is equal to competence. When there is zero competence, the confidence is so low. But the moment you start going out, taking action, your competence goes up and your confidence goes up too. That's it. It's a match made in heaven. But you got to create that. Yeah. So like Maria said something really interesting, right? People usually regret the things they didn't do, not the ones they did by mistake, that they actually made a mistake on. Well said, Maria. Like truly. We actually regret the things that we never did because we don't know. We could have nailed it. We could have been better. We did something. Yeah, it's the taking the first step. Absolutely. It's the first step that's hard, but you got to do it. There's no other way. For humans. Yeah. And thanks, Maria, for sharing. I think everybody agrees that we just regret the things that we didn't do, never tried. Like, that's the biggest. I don't want to take my regrets to my deathbed. No way. I want to know what my potential, what I'm capable of, what my potential is, for sure. And the only way I know is by making mistakes and taking the first step, Melissa. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. I want to, I think, share something which just came up for me, like when you just shared all of this. So sometimes in life, we have to find opportunities and ways to make things easier for ourselves. It's just making life a bit more simpler. So find safer avenues. So for example, if you're scared of public speaking, find safer avenues, places where you can actually suck at it. Invite a group of friends and just give it a go, and then you know that what you're good at, bad at, what you can change next time. Do it a couple of times and then actually go on to a place where you have strangers, or where you have clients and stuff, where you have your manager. Yeah. Awesome. So, and if that happens, can you handle it? And honestly, I think, yeah, we all can handle sucking, and yeah, taking a bit of hit on the self, on our ego. Because I know, like Maria said, that if I didn't give it a go, I'm going to feel worse. Might as well do it. Step 4, I'm just going to quickly rush through this, is celebrate, forgive, and commit. Can you write 3 things, ladies, that you're proud of yourself right now? What are the 3 things that you absolutely love about yourself? Someone wants to share, I would love to hear. We all would love to hear. Amanda shared, first impression comes from belief. Anyways, I don't want to disrupt your thinking. 3 things that you're proud of yourself for. Are you done? 3 things that I forgive myself for. What can you forgive yourself for? 3 things. It can be not taking action, making a mistake, looking stupid, hiding away, whatever that you want to forgive yourself for. Just write it down. Going a bit over time. That's okay. I hope it's okay. Have you written down things you forgive yourself for? Then we move on to the last one. 3 things that I commit to myself right now. So it could be doing the actions that you've outlined in the previous step. Practicing a bit of self-compassion, putting yourself in your to-do list. So it can be any of those things. Just want to check in. We're going to go to the last step, which is very simple actually. How did you go with this exercise? 3 things you love, you forgive, and you commit to yourself for. Very difficult. Okay. So which part did you find difficulty with? So Maria, I was just reading your comment. I almost didn't try it because of poor English. And I'm glad you wrote, because that's how you are. Like you're not bothered about the poor English. Like you write it anyways. Defining. Proud and forgive. Okay. Okay. Had to think hard about. Good. Is that a boundary condition, guys? Sorry, I'm using some coaching language here, but is that something that you've never thought of? I want you to think about it then. Just leave it blank if you want more time. But I really want you to think about 3 things and just put it there. Awesome. I love it. Awesome. So moving on, step number 5 is just making the choice to play big, hiding away, not knowing what I know, and being triggered. Nice. I like that comment. Very well said. Being triggered. Yeah, me too. I've let go of a lot of things which I used to feel triggered about. Very important. So last one is really choosing to play big. So we just discussed a list of things, right? In terms of the things that successful people do. And I think we've discussed it quite a bit in terms of making mistakes, sucking, asking for help, taking massive action, loving their self, having respect for their future self, all of those things. Think of what are the 2 or 3 things that you want to adopt, and therefore what's the mini thing that you want to tell your future self? Dear future self, today I choose to, and it can be, you can fill in the blanks with with anything that comes to your mind. Some examples are: today I choose to make you proud. Today I choose to play big. Today I choose to keep my promises. I choose to put myself first. Today I choose to ask for help. Any of those things, whatever strikes a chord with you. Keep the comments coming. What do you want? What do you choose to do? Commit to your future self. Tell your future self. Nice. I like that, Vesna. Define your big why and take strategic actions. Nice. That's a big one. Play big and keep promises to myself. Love it. Love it, Carmen. So you can actually write this down and actually put it on the wall in front of you and look at it every day. Because you're going to remind yourself of your big why, like Vesna said. Nice. I like that, Yuti. Take risks without getting scared. Oh, nice. Love it, Christy. Yeah. To know that I've given myself the opportunities that you deserve. Well said. Well said. Because we don't have to wait for anybody's permission to give ourselves the opportunity and to anybody's permission to play big. We are the only person that gives ourselves the permission to do that. Awesome. I love it, guys. So, big congratulations on taking the first step towards your extraordinary. Because I think this is, yeah, we need to give ourselves permission. Absolutely. So, congratulations on taking the first step towards extraordinary and committing to your future self, one thing that you're going to do. Awesome. That's all right, Carmen. Bye-bye. I know we are a bit over time. And I want you to just leave you with this thought. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Carl Jung said that. And I think it's a beautiful thought to sort of leave you with. And God, anything that anybody wants to share before I share the one thing that I committed to in the beginning, which is to take action beyond this masterclass. So if you love this and you found value and you want to keep this conversation going, I'm happy to do a 45-minute session with you where we will explore and take this to the next level in terms of, just laser focusing on what are your top priorities, your goals, like really giving a bit of detail to your dreams. We'll also work together to to end your limiting behaviors, to sort of explore your limiting behaviors, beliefs, and your fears, so that you can get closer, one step closer to your extraordinary level of career and success. So if that's something that it sounds interesting to you and you want to take up this complimentary session gift that I'm giving away, just type a yes and I will get right back to you after this. Awesome. Thanks, Maria. Done. Great, Yuti. Sure. Gifted. So that's it from my end. Have a really good evening and a great week ahead and great holidays ahead for people in Australia. You're welcome, Elisa. Bye-bye. Awesome. Bye, everybody. Signing off. Glad to hear that, Maria. Glad to hear that. You're welcome, James. Bye-bye. Okay.